Lakers get the win over the Magic. Absolute back-and-forth battle in that fourth quarter. Again, the Lakers struggled shooting that three ball. They were minus 18 in that department. Got beat up in the second chance points, 20-4. But they found a way to get the win. That's the most important thing. They shoot 62% on two-point field goal attempts. Big game, James. They also get some big performances from the role guys. D'Lo stepping up with a big game, and Christian Wood.
Yeah, a home game after a game last night in Sacramento, you just want to win. The best way you can get it. If you look at the game statistically, the Lakers really didn't deserve to win the game. I mean, you said the threes, they shot 8 for 27, and the Magic were 14 for 35. You know, the offensive rebounds, Magic got 11. The Lakers only got 3. You would think they would dominate in that area. You know, the Magic scored 20 points or more off of their turnovers. And then the bench for the Magic outplayed the Lakers bench. I think Magic had 39 points from the bench. So when you look at it statistically and just from an effort point of view, it looks like the Magic, you know, had more energy and more loose balls, more second chance points. But you have to find a way to pull it out. A great performance by AD. Some big couple threes by, you know, D'Lo down the stretch to keep a minute. And they got the win. But I'm sure they're going to go back and diagnose this game and see that they got away with one and try to correct a few things before they go on to the next one.
All right, before you guys jump in, I want rebounds and 5 stocks. Impressive numbers.
Very impressive, and you know, on his way to, you know, trying to be as consistent as he possibly can to help his team win.
The verticality play late when Suggs is driving to the basket. The amount of times you see players from the opposing teams driving to the basket, see Anthony Davis, and decide not to even shoot. like those things may not show up in a stat sheet, but his overall impact on the game is significantly greater than just the statistical numbers. So I think we do have to keep that in mind when we look back at his performances, and really you got to break the tape down and see how this guy's really impacting how the Lakers are going to be successful, especially when they win games. But even in losses, he's still doing a lot of things that are winning plays.
I'm going to talk about D'Lo. Give him a lot of credit. You know, he was so good in the preseason. We talked about him on the pregame show. Hadn't really shown it the first 3 games of the regular season. And tonight he showed exactly what we were thinking he would have this season. Maybe not quite that many points. He was 2 points shy of 30. I'm really impressed by what he did. Austin Reeves still not quite there yet. Did not play down the stretch for the 2nd game in a row, but at least you got D'Lo back on track tonight, Geet.
Big game. I like the point that Brez brought up about the way D'Lo started that game. More getting to the basket, the mid-range, opened up the threes a little bit later instead of just coming out and firing 3-4 threes because he's been struggling from there. Sometimes you got to get the easy ones, get going.
Pretty smart game. I think he took what they gave him, you know, and he navigates with the basketball. He explores because he's a really good passer off the dribble as well. So when he got into that, you know, threat zone, it was either a nice dime to someone or he would get the little floaters, which I like. The floaters open up a lot because they had to back off of him a little bit, respect the drive, and then he was able to knock down some threes, some big ones down the stretch.
You know, kind of surprised me. I just took a look. Fish, he was the only starter in a plus. He's +1.
Yeah, it was that kind of game.
Yeah,
you know, and he looked to be the only one that had kind of the pop and the juice in the legs that it takes to win the second night of a back-to-back. But you know, again, this goes to the depth of the team, where night in and night out, there are enough guys that are capable to have, you know, 15 or 20 points, not necessarily a breakout performance, but score at a rate and do some things at a rate that takes the pressure off of LeBron having to be 25 and 10. Even when AD has great stats, which he does most nights, you got 3 or 4 other guys that are legitimately 15 to 20 point per night capable guys that can help the Lakers keep the scoreboard moving.
Yeah, you look at D'Lo's fourth quarter numbers. He was 28 points overall, 10 of 14, 3 of 6 from 3 and 8 assists. But I do want to make a note that he was 4 for 4 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter, 5 for 5 for the game.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned it after the Sacramento game, and you know, Derek can speak to this. I don't think it happens overnight. The guys will still get minutes and play a few more games, and then he'll maybe dwindle it down to whatever 8, 7, 9 guys he's going to play. But I thought tonight he did a really good job of managing, you know, guys' minutes and, you know, knowing when they were flourishing and hot, taking Reeves out when he wasn't, like, you know, doing what he normally does. And, yeah, so giving guys a chance. But I think he still will, you know, dwindle it down a few more games as we go forward.
Hey, Darvin, Orlando, young athletic team, was really crashing hard. You went with Wood down the stretch, a second straight home game. What was the decision there, and how did you think that paid off on the defensive glass especially?
I mean, just whenever he's in there with A, Bron, especially A specifically, like, they're just a huge presence on the defensive glass. And Christian gets some of the toughest defensive rebounds I've ever seen anyone get. And so he and A being combined for, I think, 25 defensive rebounds. We needed every one of them. And before I get into us, man, just a huge shout out to Jamal Mosley and the job he and his staff are doing with that young group over there. I mean, they force you to play and compete each and every possession on both sides of the ball. They never stop coming. You can see the growth in that team, you know, albeit they're very young, but they make you play. And they put a lot of pressure on you, offensively and defensively, so kudos to those guys. But a lot of lessons learned, you know, tough game, tough situation, tough team to face on the second night of a back-to-back, especially that first night being an overtime game. Highly contested, highly emotional game on Sunday. But happy we pulled it out, had a lot of great moments, different segments from different guys that, you know, helped carry us across the finish line.
Darvin, was it a matter of time for D'Angelo to have a game like this for you guys?
Absolutely. Low, man, he just, you know, his calm presence offensively, he's constantly thinking how he can get an advantage, constantly concerned about, you know, making sure Bron, AD get you know, their touches and they're put in the best possible position to succeed, and he's comfortable playing off the ball as well. And so his ability to catch and shoot, especially when Bron down the stretch is quarterbacking our offense and getting us what we need to get. Low is great out there. The knockoff screens, the AD coming up with Bron, that Bron AD pick and roll, paid dividends tonight. And, you know, having Torian out there, another strong defender with size. And, again, Christian Wood, his ability to be active on the glass and block shots as well, proved big. But D'Lo, you know, he stepped up big time for us tonight, big time.
Darvin, what can you guys, I mean, I think second chance points tonight were 20-4 for Orlando, and they're a bigger team, but, you know, this has been a trend a little bit in terms of teams and attacking the glass here for the last year plus. What's it going to take for this team to become a better defensive rebounding team, and knowing that the struggles, is there an opportunity for a player maybe like Christian to play even more, considering that it has been a strength for him?
It could be. I mean, it's just a matter of continuing to work at it. That's it. I mean, continuing to work at it. Continue to highlight, you know, these moments, that particular segment of our game in terms of finishing possessions, trying to close a team out and not give them multiple looks. It's just something you just got to continue to work at. There's no magic pill that's going to make it go away. I mean, you're going to have nights where you dominate the defensive glass, and you're going to have nights where you're there, you're in position, but the ball is slippery, it bounces off your hands, you know, weird bounces off the rim, long rebounds that you don't seem to be able to track down. Like, it's a lot of different variables, but as long as we make our team aware of it, like the two things I said, the beginning of our defense and the end of our defense, the transition defense and the defensive rebounding is something that we want to prioritize. Everything in the middle, we can figure out our pick and roll coverages, our shifts in activity off the ball, off ball defense. We'll figure that out. But again, just continuing to preach it, make them know how important it is, and they see it. You know, we saw it in Sacramento. we did a great job for the entire game and had a couple of misfortunate bounces that they were able to get a hold of and capitalize off of. So they're aware of it, and it's just something, you can't get bored with talking about.
D'Angelo had the biggest offensive night for your team. It seemed to my eye that not only him, but Austin and Gabe were all decisive in terms of looking for their shots. Did you notice any shift there? And I recognize that defense remains your priority for the entire group, but can that help your offense versus trying to feel each other out, just like, I know what I can do, I'm going to go get my shot?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Simple pass, simple play, connecting on time, on target. And those guys just being aggressive and assertive. You're open, shoot it. Don't overthink it. Because the time you turn down a shot, you thought you saw something else, that quickly, that opportunity is no longer available. And so those guys just keeping it simple. The more we have enough talent where we don't have to get tricky, we just have to, do the blocking and tackling, as I call it. Just, playing with pace, getting good hits with our screens, and coming off playing downhill, forcing the defense to collapse, and the defense will tell you where the ball should go. And once you receive the ball, if you're open, shoot it. If you're at the rim, sometimes shoot it. If you're not covered up, you can make a layup, score the layup. And so you just can't overthink it. You can't overthink it.
Darvin, since the Denver second half, AD's averaging about 29 points, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks. What type of response have you seen from him since then, and just him kind of carrying the offense at times and being aggressive on the offensive glass and whatnot?
I think it's just him being himself, People reference that Denver game, man, like Jokic don't exist. And him having to deal with this guy on both sides of the ball, that's a load. And so just him just settling in, the game legs are coming. That's what the early part of the season is for. And I constantly tell him to be aggressive, be assertive. He's the captain of our defense. He's back there holding down the back line, talking, active, changing shots, blocking shots, and coming up with rebounds, setting screens, rolling hard, not forcing anything, just taking his opportunities. Guys are looking for him. So he's starting to get into a really, really nice rhythm, an efficient rhythm at that. So I just expect him to continue to grow, continue to get in not saying that he's out of shape, but just continue to, again, it's a difference between being in great shape and being in great game shape. And all of our guys are making their way into that direction of being in great game shape. And that's what these early games are about, just blowing it all out, being competitive across the board. And he's right at the top of that list.
Sticking with AD, it seemed like guys were either getting him more involved or he was more involved in different actions, whether it's inverted pick and rolls, quick steals. Was that something that was emphasized leading into the game, just generally, or because of the matchup that he had tonight?
Just one of those things coming into the season. We wanted to be more organized, and it's good to play random sometimes off a miss. But when there's a dead ball or there's a made basket against us, trying to be as organized as possible and keep him involved, keep him engaged, keep him aggressive. And so, on one hand, it's deliberate for sure. And then on the other hand, again, guys are just programmed to look for him. We know, the things he frees up when he's aggressive, and, he's the center of our offense. And so the more and more we can get him going, the more and more we can feature him, it makes life easier for everyone.
How much can you use that AD's involvement as a gauge as how organized you guys are offensively? Just because big men typically maybe need a little bit more of that. How can you use that as a gauge for the organization offensively?
If you're not turning the ball over, you're getting good looks. The analytics, they have this QSQ and QSI numbers. And you need to put a mask on, man. You all right?
It's been like
before the game, man, I tried not to say nothing, man. It's just, okay, man. I'm just worried about you, bro.
I'm good.
I want to see you on Wednesday, okay? I just want to see you on Wednesday. All right, I'm just making sure. It's just, when you take care of the ball and your assist numbers are up, your free throw line numbers are up, you got high field goal percentage. You know, AD is a huge part of that, and our other guys when they're playing downhill, Brian, AR, Lowe, all of our Gabe, everybody, C. Wood. Those are usually the gauges and the signs that you're doing pretty well offensively.
Mark. Hey, Darvin, I understand it's early, but with the small sample size, but given Christian's journey through his career, why do you think this environment's been a good fit for him?
I mean, our organization, the history behind it speaks for itself. I know how locked into trying to get better everyone in that building is on a daily basis. I think our coaching staff, who came in here last year, wanted to establish and set a tone daily of trying to help our players individually and collectively maximize their God-given talents. And also, you know, when you got LeBron James on your team and Anthony Davis on your team and all the wars they've gone through and the things they've conquered in this league, you find out pretty quickly that, you know, we have our fair share of fun. Don't get that wrong, or don't, you know, misread me on that point. But people know when they step in our environment that we're about business and we're about winning. And so that trickles down to the entire group. And everybody that's coming in here, they're asking questions. They don't want to be that guy that not locked in, that's not paying attention, that's not putting that work in. So when the game time does come and we need that 150-50 ball, or we need somebody to be confident to step up and make a shot, or knock someone off and stopping them from getting an offensive rebound, they understand everything, all of the work we put in on a daily basis with our bodies, with our breakdowns, with our scrimmages, and all of that is geared toward us to have the ultimate success. And so I think it's infectious.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Across the board, the young players for the Magic, all seemingly with good games outside of, obviously, Paolo Banchero struggling a bit, but Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony, across the board played well.
Yeah, the Magic played well, and they had a couple of chances to win this game. You know, they missed a couple of bunnies, but they have to be happy with the effort that they showed tonight going into Los Angeles. And I think the Lakers have to be happy with this win, because this was a gutsy win for them. If, you know, you look at Davis, you look at Russell, the way they played offensively, they needed big games from both of those guys, and they got it.
Orlando Magic with a season-high 27 team assists, and we were watching LeBron James minutes right after playing 39 last night in an overtime loss. What did you make of how they closed that game when they put him back on the floor?
Yeah, he sat for a good chunk of the middle part of the fourth quarter, came back in and went straight to that AD LeBron James pick and roll. And I'm sitting next to Jamal, and Jamal's saying, go switch under, but there's only so much you can do when you have two of the best players in the game playing a pick and roll. I think LeBron played it perfectly, got to his three, got AD a look, and then hit Christian Wood for actually a good open look in the corner. But I'm going to still go back to defensively. I think the Lakers really buckled down, played good defense, good solid defense to close out the game, and still shooting just 29% from three. So you got to think, the basket's going to open up for Vincent, going to open up for Reeves. D'Angelo saw it going a little bit. That's where I think this Lakers team will really take off when they start knocking down open three-pointers.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell again, 28 and 8 assists. Anthony Davis, 26 points, 19 rebounds, 3 blocks, 5 assists. Really incredible for the Los Angeles Lakers in the win.
Just 2 home victories here, some similarities just in you close with a big lineup, you know, AD, Christian, and you grabbing a lot of kind of key defensive rebounds. Do you notice anything about that group that you think you can project forward and kind of why it might work, and what are the things about it that do?
Well, one, I mean, it gives us a lot of length in the front court. You know, myself, AD, and C. Wood, and you know, one of our biggest kryptonites over the last few years is being able to close out possessions. We do a great job of getting stops, but you know, we give up offensive rebounds, and a lot of teams score. Second chance points has been killing us. So, you know, to be able to have that ability to have that length, you know, to be able to rebound those missed shots is definitely key for us. And you know, it's big time.
Okay.
LeBron, another thought on that. The 5-out offense, how do you feel like that fits this current group of personnel? And the group of big men you have playing within it? How does it fit their skill set?
When you have dynamic rollers and guys that can do multiple things out of pick and roll, either setting and rolling or setting and popping. You have Jax, who can, is one of the fastest bigs coming out of pick and roll with his live game. Obviously, AD can mix it up with his ability to roll and pop or whatever the case, play in between, pop to the three. And also with C. Wood, it gives us a lot of dynamic. And when you have surrounding wings and guards that can spread the floor and knock down shots, it definitely helps. Guys that can penetrate the lane like myself, AR, D-Lo and things of that nature. It gives us a lot of space. So we're going to continue to get better. I think we're still a little trying to figure it out, which is okay. We're 4 games in, so we're going to get a lot better with it throughout the season. But so far, we've liked some of the things that we've done.
Hey, Dave. So pre-game, before you guys ran out, LeBron said, "I've seen that face before, 30-20. You nearly did that. Can you speak to that prediction, and what's the face?"
What's the face?
You felt me, 26-19.
With some bunnies, man. Just being locked in. Obviously, it's a tough loss last night, and wanted to get back in the win column. We feel like we let that one last night slip away. Knowing that also this team, young team, hungry team, play fast, crash the glass, and we want to do anything possible to get the win. I just want to do my part.
What's the face?
I don't know.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, you'll see.
I'll tell you next time.
LeBron, AD, I got one for both of you guys. LeBron, you mentioned it, the defensive rebounding, second chance points. What do you think needs to happen to really shore that up for you guys?
It's just a matter of going to get it. One, obviously, you gotta locate crashers. It's a lot of teams crash from perimeters and crash from the corners and things of that nature. But locating crashers and then actually just going to get the ball. Sometimes you can actually have a heck of a box out and it could bounce long and go over your head or bounce weird or, even the one on the end. I got a tip on the three on France 3-pointer, and it fell short. AD had great position, but it fell short and fell right into Jalen Suggs' hands. So sometimes it's just, how the way the ball bounces. But, if you get bodies on bodies, 9 times out of 10, you can give yourself a chance to be successful in the glass.
In AD, I know it's just a few games, but have you felt that synergy grow, with you and Christian in the front court, or you, Christian, and LeBron in the front court?
I felt really good. Me and C. Wood played together in New Orleans, so we got a little bit of chemistry there. But we still figuring it out on the fly. Me and Bron trying to help him see what he like. The good thing about him, he's receptive to information. So, we tell him something, and he doesn't get in his feelings or anything. He tries to do what we tell him to make the entire team successful and him. So, me and Bron already have that synergy, and just add him on the floor, put him in a position to be successful. It's been working out great.
This one's for either of you, but as you're trying to establish the continuity early in the season, what can a couple of crunch time wins do for the group in terms of just kind of being in the bunker together and figuring out a way to get it done?
One, it just shows us the resiliency that we have as a team, but also just knowing that if we get in those situations, we know what to do. We're not panicking, guys, not rushing shots or, making bad plays. We're comfortable in those situations down the stretch where you need a big rebound, you need a big shot, you need to make a play for yourself or for a teammate. And, having that has been great for us. And I think it'll help us later down the stretch, whether come playoff time or end of the season.
Dan?
LeBron, last night in Sacramento, you basically told us that if you woke up and felt like poorly, I think wasn't the word.
Felt like poorly?
Felt like another word. That you would know. That's how you know whether or not you'd play. What was the process tonight? And then I guess this is the third straight game where you've entered the fourth quarter. The minutes have been moderately low, and you've been fresh. Has that been? I know we've moved past sort of the 30-minute thing here 3 times in a row, but being fresh in fourth quarters, has that become a priority a little bit?
It's definitely the way they've worked out so far in the season, and I think we probably will continue on that trend. As it get in the fourth quarter, obviously that's winning time, and for myself, I love being out there during the fourth quarter, being able to make plays. I feel like that's the best quarter for me when it comes to being able to close out a game or being able to make plays for my teammates throughout the course of that quarter. But it's worked for us throughout times throughout the season so far. Some of the quarters haven't been well for us, but I think once we get into Coach Ham said, once he gets into a rhythm of rotations and things of that nature, and who he wants to go with, and which lineups he'll go with throughout the course of a game, then we'll all get better and know what's going on throughout the course of the game and what we want to be in and how we'll finish games and things of that nature. But tonight worked out for us once again.
Thanks, Phil. D'Lo, up next.
Hello.
Yeah, D'Angelo, we've spoken a lot to you last year, this year, just about different roles on offense and who has the ball when. But tonight, a lot of primary creation from you, a lot of efficiency with your shot. What were you seeing with the way Orlando was playing you and kind of playing off of the bigs as you did tonight?
Just it's similar from game to game. Just missing shots, I think. Finding a way to impact the game by not just missing or making shots. So did that, and tonight I just made shots.
And then just what have you found the main thing for you and whoever the other guard is with that three big lineup that seems to have had some success here with Wood joining LeBron and AD? What do you think the key is there?
Well, say that again. Sorry, my bad.
Just the key for you and whoever else is with you in the backcourt with that big lineup when Christian Wood joins LeBron and AD.
Just finding a way to be energy. I don't think it's something specifically. It's just finding a way to be energy. If that's getting an extra possession, tipping the ball out on an offensive rebound, diving for the ball, being in the help position, just things like that. You never know when you might get an opportunity to shoot or make a play. But when you got those guys out there, there's a lot of attentions that way. So just find a way to just be energy around it.
D'Lo, as you guys are trying to establish continuity and find a rhythm, what does it do for the group to have a couple of crunch time wins and kind of show you can be in the bunker together and kind of find a way to get it done? What can that do in terms of continuity and just finding yourselves?
It's pretty self-explanatory. When you get that time, you figuring it out. I'm gonna continue to stress it, but this is what you guys see as a team figuring it out. This isn't the product that will be in a month or two from now. So every game matters. Every crunch situation matters. Every practice matters. So we're figuring it out.
D'Angelo, what was behind you being so aggressive in the fourth quarter?
Nothing. I just got shots and made them. Simple as that. If I make shots, I know what I'm capable of. I trust my craft at all times. So just making shots makes the game a little easier.
It seemed like you guys got AD involved in different sort of actions, inverted pick and rolls, some early steals by him. Just was that a emphasis in the game planning against Orlando specifically, or something you guys had in mind generally that you guys want to get him more involved in those ways?
I just think he found the right place to be in. We got so much talent out there. You can see we kind of get in trouble when we try to force things, but when we got some continuity around our offense, it allows AD to find the right spots, his spots, and we play off of him. Bron to find his spots, and we play off of him. But still finding a way to be aggressive from the supporting cast, and I think it'll take the pressure off those guys.
D'Angelo, teams have had some success on the glass against you guys, crashing the offensive glass. AD tonight had 17 defensive rebounds. Felt like a lot of those were contested. What can you say about what he's done? Not only, obviously, he's asked to do a lot during a defensive possession, but to kind of close them out on the glass. What can you kind of say about his defensive rebounding tonight?
I can speak on his rebounding, but I've been playing against him for years, and I never seen his level of play. It's not a wavering thing like everybody kind of says. He still finds a way to dominate the game. If it's not on the stat sheet or if it's not loud, teams fear him, and for our group, knowing what he's capable of on the offensive end and the defensive end, I mean, we never lose any love or trust in what he's capable of. And being a part of what we did last year and seeing his level of play I wasn't surprised or shocked, but I was kind of in awe because I seen how it kind of progressed over the time we were together. So I know what he's capable of, and there's no surprise from that guy.
D'Lo, I have to ask about the dunk. Can you just kind of take us through that play in the second quarter, just what happened there?
Surprisingly, D'Lo dunked the ball. I always make, small bets with my teammates and things like that. I always say I dunk when it matters and things like that, but I don't know. It took me a lot to find myself and make my mind up to even attempt to dunk it, especially with him trying to contest it. And I can honestly say I got lucky, I want y'all to put that out there. He got lucky, so the guys can continue to try me, and you'll see what happens. No, I'm just playing. I got lucky, though, for sure.
Hey, D'Lo, you had 28 points. You also led the team in assists. Can you speak to your decisiveness? Were you just going with what the defense gave you?
Man, honestly, that's the hardest thing about my game, finding a way to balance out, facilitating and scoring when I know what I'm capable of when it comes to scoring, and I know I'm one of the best passers in the league. So just trying to balance that out, and tonight y'all saw me find the balance.
Last question. Hey, D'Lo, I noticed before the game during warm-ups, you and Darvin kind of having what seemed like a pretty productive, positive conversation on the bench. Can you just kind of shed light on sort of the gist of that conversation and how it translated onto the court tonight?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough.
Appreciate you, though.
Thank you, D'Lo.
Yep, no problem.
Do you know what you're